Welcome, everyone. Before I get started into my sort of normal business discussion, does anyone have any questions they want to table? Alrighty, I'll take that as a no for now. Feel free to jump in whenever you want, either by chat or by audio/video. First of all, thanks for coming. I appreciate you taking the time to join for this. I believe it has value. I know there are still people in the class that are struggling and don't understand what's going on, that are not taking the time to either read the syllabus or watch these office hours. So yeah, thank you for doing that. And I suspect that your results will reflect the fact that you've spent the time to either attend live or to watch this afterwards if you're tied up at the live time. I wanted to talk about a few things, and pardon me for repeating myself. This is our 5th office hours. I've talked about this every single office hours. I'll do it again. There are still people that have not successfully enabled a view of the quizzes, so they can't do the quizzes. I still get panicked emails, typically at about 10:30 on Friday nights. And just go over this again. You need to do your course requirements quiz. You need to submit your academic integrity module. The course requirements quiz has to be perfect, and it has to, because it's late, because it's 4 weeks late now, I have to manually review it. So if you submit it at 11 o'clock at night and you expect that I'm staying up on the edge of my seat waiting for your submission so that you can write the quiz, you're going to be gravely disappointed, like several people were this past Friday, yesterday. So the academic integrity module, the common mistake, and I've said this repeatedly, is that people send me a screenshot without their name included in the screenshot. The other emerging trend is people sending me random screenshots of random screens. I have no idea what you're thinking when you do that. I don't get it. There's a picture, there's a description of what I want. Please read the instructions. And again, apologies to the people that are attending and most of the people that are watching, because you're not the people that are doing this. So discussions. Your first discussions are marked at this point. You should have all sorts of feedback. We have 4 of us that mark discussions. So there are 12 groups of discussions. So each marker, workshop leader or myself, had 3 groups. I can tell you I'm group 10, 11, and 12 is what I marked this last time. You will see different markers each time. We'll rotate through for fairness, but please take a second and look. Hopefully you already did, because you had the next discussion post that was due yesterday. Take a look at that feedback, understand that feedback, ask me questions about stuff you don't understand from that feedback, if anything. So the most common thing always, year after year after year after year, is that people don't read the requirements. So where people fall down most typically is not making that second post of the same caliber, quality, requirements as the first. I'll say it again. The second post has all the same requirements. It needs to have 3 or more cited references, and it needs to be 500 to 700 words long. So everything's the same. So you want to avoid using first person. You want to use decent reference material. You want to, it may help to, when you're answering a specific question that a peer has posted, you may want to go ahead and copy that question in there so we know what you're talking about. When we look at marking these discussion posts, we're not marking in the thread. So we're not going from the top of the thread, and we can't see that. What we see is a view of just your 2 posts. So they kind of stand alone, and once in a while there's a reply, the second post, that doesn't make a ton of sense to us. Or isn't clear about what we're looking at. So yeah, that's the discussion post. Do spend some time and get into the feedback that we provide. We'll be providing less and less feedback as we move forward. So I've done it where we provide the same level of feedback and we just burn ourselves out saying the same things over and over and over again. And it takes forever to mark putting that level of feedback for 325 students times 2 posts, right? So I see a question. How are you doing, Mr. Mahbub?
I'm doing well. How are you, Professor?
Good, thanks. What can I do for you?
I had a question about, I think I just entered a little bit late, but so I had like feedback on my post, just because when I copied my references to Blackboard,
Yep.
highlighted something,
Yep.
but I didn't mean it to be highlighted and I couldn't change it, and then I lost marks because it was highlighted. So
just because we put a comment in about it doesn't necessarily mean we took marks for it.
No, he said that because that's why I lost.
Okay. So yeah,
I don't understand what to do then. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way I could fix that. It just was just highlighted, you know, like. There
is though. So in the instructions, you have a couple ways. Blackboard, we've decided and agreed on, I think, as a class, that it's evil, and it's going to try and mess you over if it can. What we have to do is strip all formatting from the text. So to do that, you can do a couple of things. You can write it. Perhaps you're writing in Word. I'm just guessing. Maybe you're.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So you can copy and paste that into Notepad or something that strips all the formatting off it, and then copy it out of there and then reformat it in Blackboard. Or you can do Shift Control V for pasting, so adding the control to it, and that strips all the formatting from it.
Okay. I was just confused. I was like looking at my feedback and I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, and that doesn't sound like my marking. No. I might issue a warning. I'm not super concerned about the highlighting thing. But we do get people that carry over hyperlinks and things like that. You shouldn't be, there should be no hyperlinks, right?
No, it wasn't a hyperlink. It was just like, it was APA format. I went through it with my academic skills instructional advisors.
Yeah, fair enough. And I was meaning you specifically, but there's people that will copy and paste sections of text. That's a real big bad flag to me when I see hyperlinks, live hyperlinks, because that means you didn't type it, right? So no. Anyways, and I don't get too excited, and I've instructed my workshop leaders not to get too excited about sort of the italicizing. Like, there's proper places to italicize in APA. Yeah. I don't care that much about that, as long as you follow the format, like the author, the year, and so forth.
I wish you marked mine then.
Well, one out of 4, I'll mark you.
I was like, yeah, I forget it wasn't you that marked it, because you didn't seem like, I know like your marking is not like that.
Okay, well, I will happily take a look and make sure, since you've raised the question. But yeah, we're probably, and I'll take a look at it, and you and I correspond offline. So
sure. Oh yeah, I had a question about the quizzes.
Yes.
I know we don't get our feedback on the answers on like what's right. Yep. But the ones that have like all, the ones like the select all.
Yep.
Right. I'm guessing I got some of those wrong, but I don't know which ones I got wrong, and I don't know why. Right. Because some of them, I don't know if you're looking for us to infer that this is what they're looking for, or you're just going straight for what's in the book. Do you know what I mean? Because it's some of them say like, what would it, but the one was like evidence thing. Like, what would you, like, what do you get attacked on when you're presenting the evidence, right? Right. So it would be everything, because opposition can use anything in a court of law, right? Yep. So is that using your logic, or is it using the textbook? As I don't know.
Using the textbook. Okay. Yeah. Go from the text. So I wrote all those. I think I've said that before. I've written all these questions. I drew it all out of the textbook. I didn't add anything from my lectures, or add any, if you want to call it common sense or anything like that. It's straight out of the text. So find that section of the text and that is gospel.
Right. I think the syllabus, you said that you take all the quizzes and you don't drop, I don't think, one.
That's right. Yeah, I think we've only got 10 quizzes here.
Yeah, but like, I wish you did.
Yeah.
It's like,
But they're not worth very much. I mean, in fairness, they're not worth the value in the quizzes is twofold. One, it keeps everyone reading, hopefully,
yeah.
keeping pace and not getting behind. Two, you're going to see some of these questions again on things like midterms and finals. So,
Okay. Wait, do we still have access to the questions?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure to tell you the truth.
Can you give us access to the questions after? Like, because I just do it and I don't, remember the questions.
I would suggest, and I have suggested that people consider taking screenshots or.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never did that for like tests,
Yeah.
I always just like.
There's a good chance that I'll give you a demo quiz to practice on too. So.
Okay, like previously when you gave us.
Yes.
It was like 1620.
Yeah, 1620. Yep, same idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my questions. I don't know why I was doing bad. I was like, what did I get wrong?
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. And again, if once you've had a chance to review them, if you want to do it privately, we can take a little walk through, and I can see if there's a pattern there. So
yeah, okay. I think it's the select all ones that I was.
yeah. Everyone thinks that, and when I look at them for people, sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not the case. So
okay, all right. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, not a problem.
I had something similar.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when I copied and pasted mine in, for my references, I numbered them, and it would show in the correct order. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
But when I post it, it changed all of them to 1.
Yes.
And the post this week,
Yep.
it did the same thing, and I don't know why. Like I double checked before I pressed send. So then I redid it, and I just left word out of it and just directly typed in the box.
Yep.
So, and I lost marks because it did that, but I wasn't aware, like when I was pressing send, it was correct.
Okay. So couple things. There's a preview button that you can see what it's going to look like. It's not perfect. The second thing, and probably way more important thing, is you don't number your references in APA format, period.
Okay.
You just don't. So you sort them alphabetically by author, but you don't put numbers in.
I thought we could have done other references formats. Sorry.
No, it's APA. It says very clearly APA. And that's why in that course requirements quiz, there were 2 questions about APA formatting to get people thinking about that.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, look at the watch your instructions. Like I said previously, if you control shift control V. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. If it's shift control or alt control V, whatever, I'd have to do it. It's just instinctive. I don't think about it. It strips the formatting, and then you can add formatting in using the formatting tools in the composing bar up in your discussion post.
Okay.
All righty. It's honestly, even though there may have been a comment about it, more likely the comment, and I feel like I marked either yours or one similar where they had numbers, and I remember the 1111. Someone else had the same problem if it wasn't yours.
I think it was mine. Yeah.
It could well have been yours. So yeah, I'm much more concerned about using numbers incorrectly than I am that it's all ones or even any of the formatting things. Sometimes when people paste it in, it becomes very unreadable because it actually doesn't have an end point, if that makes sense. It's, even though I have a really wide screen, it wraps around past that wide screen. I can't even see all their post. So that's concerning, and that's a problem to read content, obviously. So, okay. Someone else. I'm just looking at my chat, and I lost Pia. I have a question about the discussion posts for the reference. Does it matter the sources don't have hanging indents? No, it does not. I tried to put them in for half an hour, oh no, and couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I give up as far as Blackboard goes and formatting. I don't know how I would do that myself. So yeah, don't worry about the hanging indents. Don't worry about if you want to do the italics in the references, that's great, but you're not going to lose marks for not doing either one of those things. As long as you sort them alphabetically, as long as you use the correct author, then date, then title, then publication, that sort of format, you're fine. Okay. don't worry about it. Now, on the other hand, when we get to handing in term papers and things like that, do make sure that the hanging indents are right. But that's relatively easy in Word, right? Or hopefully. Okay, thanks. I've had some questions, just individual questions about the term paper. People seem to be starting to think about that, which is excellent. I think, at this point, you should be gathering your sources at the very, very least, maybe starting to compose some of the sections of your paper. Because time's gonna go real fast very, very soon. We've got one more week, and then we've got reading week, and then we're in the second half of the course suddenly, and you're competing with other term papers, other assignments, final exams, things like that, right? So do move forward with that. But one of the questions that I've been having that's excellent is about my comment or my suggestion to use good sources. No, you don't have to use purely peer-reviewed academic sources. That's not even possible in a lot of the subject cases. You wouldn't be able to find 10 for some of the subject matter. So don't worry about that. But do look at the validity of your source. So don't use Nike's website as evidence that Nike is fantastic, or that Nike builds the best shoes, or that Nike has the best t-shirts. Of course, Nike's site's going to say that they have the best of everything. That's not a credible source. Don't use a shill website, someone that's making money off of selling Nike products, saying how great Nike is. That's also not a good source. So just use some common sense there. Don't use Wikipedia as a source, but do use Wikipedia to look up and find some sources that they used. Certainly start with Google Scholar and look for peer-reviewed papers. That's absolutely the best. But don't get bent out of shape if you don't find a lot of them. Just try for credible sources. So do the best you can. Okay. I don't think I have a ton else. Devon, I'm not sure if you're asking another question or if you're still got a hand up from the previous one. So I'm not ignoring you. Oh, previous one, I guess. Julia, would you be able to go over the logistics of the midterm, such as format, time, and amount of questions? So conveniently, and I'm just going to my page here. Conveniently, if we look at the syllabus, there's some information there. And I'm not dodging the question. I'll expand a little bit more in a second. Scrolling through, bear with me. Yes, I definitely can do that. And my plan is to do that. There's not really a lot of good information in the syllabus about it. So presumably you already looked there. What it says in the syllabus is the midterm exam will be open book online. You're expected to write it on your own. The midterm exam will cover the first 5 chapters and any other materials covered, meaning things like the discussions. I mean, that's fair game, right? The stuff that we've covered in the discussions. Though I will absolutely tell you that I don't use a lot of that. It's typically just going to be, or it's going to be primarily from the chapters, okay? It may consist of multiple choice, multiple answer, true, false, matching, and or short and long answer questions. It'll be 2 hours in duration. So what we will do next week with the next office hours is we'll delve into the midterm. Then we will take, I believe, two Saturdays off, because the first one will be the Saturday before, immediately before reading week, and the next one will be the Saturday after. So next Saturday, and I'll probably send out an announcement just to encourage people to come to the office hours next week. We'll dive into the midterm, and you'll have a couple weeks before the midterm at that point. You have reading week, and then the next week will be the midterm. The nice thing about midterm week is there's absolutely nothing else that's due. Please use that efficiently, that and reading week efficiently to get working on your paper and or caught up on other courses that clearly are not as important as this course, because this is the most important course, of course. So yeah. So once we get to midterm, we do our reading week. Then we go to week 7, which starts on the 28th of February, and our midterm is right then, immediately. Now, I've had people concerned or looking ahead and planning, saying that they've got conflicts. I do appreciate that. There's no problem in me accommodating your class conflicts, your other midterms and labs and everything else. No problem at all. I would ask you to wait until about a week before to let me know. And the reason's simple. I build the exam from scratch each year, and I have to add in the exception. So even if you send me something right now, I would hate to miss that or lose that, because it's still several weeks before. I would much rather take your email and immediately build you into the exam with your exception for your time, send you a screenshot so that we both can see and verify that I've got it right. So that's how I prefer to do it. So leave that conversation with me until about a week before. So probably somewhere over reading week would be fine, if that works for you guys. So, okay. Yeah, I'm heartened by some of the good questions I've been getting. It almost balances out all the people that still haven't figured out what they need to do to see a quiz, and that think that I'm available to them 24/7 to jump on a machine and mark their 4-week late submission. So any other questions? Is there anything else I can cover for you guys? I have a question about the most recent quiz. Were you able to briefly go? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to stick around after, you and I can do that, Alyssa. All right. So Julia, did I answer your question fully? We'll deal with we'll do the midterm as much as I'm going to disclose, and I'm pretty open about it. Next week, we'll deal with it in 1 week. Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have any questions, comments?
Professor, hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
The midterm exam will be delivered online, right?
Yes, absolutely, online. Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be a non-proctored, meaning it'll be an open book. You do it on your own time. It'll be a limited window of availability, and I'm not sure what time zone you specifically are in or anyone else specifically is in. It'll be a limited time zone that it'll be offered. And the reason is I've got to fight the trend, shall we say, of students doing it in groups, or having one student go through, do the exam, and then talk to their friends, and then they do the exam subsequently and at a huge advantage. So I try and make it fair for people. And unfortunately, one of the problems with that is that some of the students that aren't in Peterborough or in the Eastern time zone end up having to do it fairly late at night or fairly early in the morning or something like that. But again, we'll get through it. So. All right, guys, if you've had your questions answered, or you don't, if there's nothing else that you need, just go ahead, have yourself a great remainder of your weekend. Again, I appreciate you coming out and asking questions and being part of this. It does really help a lot of students that will spend the time to watch this afterwards. So thank you very much.